Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on a great viewer question, and that is about clearing the slate. How do you detach emotionally and get recharged, fired up, or empowered after kind of going through some tough upbringing, some tough relationships? Manipulative relationships or workplaces that have not been strength-based, that have not really embraced the authentic real you, but have gotten your life off track, off purpose, off meaning. And how do you do that? Well, number one, it is really coming into a calm body. You need to stop the fear from coursing through your body, mind, and spirit, and your essence. The fear, the self-limiting beliefs, the agitation, the sadness, the racing thoughts, the gaslighting, the doubting of yourself. All that has begun, after really either a tough upbringing, if you've been perhaps a victim of child abuse, emotional neglect, raised by narcissistic parents, who just want you to be an image of something other than what you are. They're projecting their needs onto you. Or a psychopathic parent, someone who has zero and void, is devoid of empathy, devoid of your needs, does not have any emotional connection, so there's no really bond there. Or perhaps you've had difficult relationships in your school, or your romantic relationships, or your marriages, where you're finding that the emotional cord is not energized, it's not energetic, it is not really love-based, because love is patient and love is kind. If you have someone who is always hurrying you and being abrasive and being, always down on you, eventually it shuts you down. And this can be a very difficult place to sort of bounce back up from, but if you're always kind of bouncing back and staying in that wounded space, in other words, still in a reactive space, then you're not going to really have that clear slate and be the real you. So you need to really embrace the fact that you need to slow down to speed up, meaning you need to stop the defense mechanisms and stop all the coping stuff that you do in order to put up with the agitation. So the defense mechanisms can be smoking, drinking, drugging, shopping, self-harm, self-sabotage, critical beliefs. You need to have that stopped, and you need to come to a slow down place where you're just emptying your body of that tension and really coming to a sort of centeredness, and then rehabituating yourself, what I call resensitizing yourself, feeding yourself nourishment into that clean slate, into that clean open ground. If you can imagine an open field that's had everything cleared away, all the big trees, all the big rocks, all the shrubs, all the weeds, and it's just cleared away. It's a nice big clearing. That's what you should feel like within. You have a clearing, and you've moved all that gunk and garbage and vines that have twisted, and all of the little stickers that have gotten on, on your pants, on your shoes, on your sweater. They are all removed, and you are cleansed, and you have this beautifully fertilized, naturally organic, open slate, open field in front of you. That is how you begin your healing, is from that clear slate, that clean open field in front of you. And then not putting any judgment, any plantings, any seeds as of yet, just being in that open space. And then being used to feeling that, in that awareness, that consciousness, and that you then have the ability to say what is going to go into this beautiful, organic, rich soil that has taken millions of years to generate and germinate all the various plankton and all the various minerals. And you stand by and you just observe and you manifest, and you know that this place has the ability to grow and produce. And so without judgment, without worry, without fear. You just gaze upon that, and then that has to be your inner sanctum. Allowing yourself to be grounded there, but not too heavy, not with a burden, not with projecting, I can't do this, not without the burden that something might happen, lightning might strike my field, it might get, worried, there might be warriors who come and take it over, not in that fear reactive state. So just getting in a state of allowing and peace. So your mind and your place within has to be kind of like that. And then knowing that it's fertile, knowing that it's organic, knowing that it has all the components for good life, allowing yourself to feel that. So healing is about feeling. It really is. And you need to get that resensitized and give yourself the gift of this feeling state, and then begin your positive early direction thinking. Then begin to resensitize yourself. Then begin to give yourself the language, and resensitizing all of your senses towards the positive, and taking control over your senses so that your higher powers can kind of coalesce and work together. And what this means in terms of resensitizing yourself is taking notice of all of your senses. Hearing, sight, taste, touch, all the different senses that you have, especially the scent, and really resensitizing, meaning very specifically, very consciously, with effort, going and then giving yourself a feel-good experience. Getting out all the clutter, out all the negativity, the bad pictures out of your gallery phone, out of your numbers list, out of your Facebook. Getting rid of all that makes you go, ugh, all the old clothing, all the old pots and pans, all the old food, all the old junk that is not feeding you that feel-good, healthy, organic spot. If it's not doing good for you, it's doing bad for you. So you need to kind of go through your thoughts, your feelings in your home, your workplace, whatever it is, and sort of declutter and get rid of all of that negativity, so you own this positive space. And it's like, no negativity here. So you're not coping, you're having. Because after a traumatic relationship, people's lives become consumed with coping. They're so unhappy, all they're doing is their defense mechanisms. So it's time to let go of your defense mechanisms and then start the living. And you begin that then to, if you've been in that terror state, coming out of that terror state, and then resensitizing yourself from this, the image standpoint, the visuals, cutting out pictures, having positive images around you that are nutritive, that help you to feel good. These can be textile wall hangings. These can be dream catchers. These can be paintings that you buy, prints that you newly purchased as a recovery gift, a magazine that you buy that you lay out on your coffee table with beautiful images of someplace you'd like to go. Go and purposely give yourself something visual in your environment that can motivate you and keeps you on track. And you actually need to do this. Well, peace and harmony, I don't really have anything. Well, then go and get, something. Go and buy yourself some print, some painting, or make one that gives you an uplifting, positive feel that keeps you in a forward feeling and sort of gently uplifted state, and getting rid of all the negative. Also, the sense of sound, beginning to really notice how sound or words, the things that people have said, how those ruminate within you, and to get those out of your mind center, your heart center. Begin to play nice and calming music. If you've never listened to classical music or shamanic drumming or the soothing sounds of nature, begin to find those on YouTube and just play them in the background. Begin to uplift and become sensitive to little things, the birds singing, the crickets chirping. Begin to just listen to the pleasant buzz, just like you were a child discovering a field for the first time. Begin to sort of nurture that resensitizing of your sound, and then using your own voice to be very calming, and making your internal commands. I am at peace. I am calm. I am at peace. I am me, and I love being me. I love being alive and being me. I am safe. I am vibrant. I am miraculous. The divine life runs through me. Begin to say these things. And remember, when we talk about resensitizing, especially the hearing, when you speak out loud, you're sending positive vibrations into all of your cells, all your DNA. So they're also on board with you. It has to be like a full body experience. The sense of scent. Begin to really cultivate some very healing and meaningful scents, whether it's fresh flowers. You'll see me doing videos with flowers. You can go and purchase these or buy these. Beginning to have things like incense burners or the floral essence vaporizers. Having things like Palo Alto wood. I have some samples here. I think that this is called Holy Stick. And this is a slow burning. It's called Holy Stick, and you can purchase this. You can put this in your drawers. You can burn this, and it has a very sweet smelling smoke. Holy Stick is also it's very organic, woodsy. You can do things like I got some of this. Oh, excuse me. This is a smudge stick with natural sage. So interesting. So this is a sage plant that is wrapped up, and it is cut like this and is here. And you can burn this slowly. Oh, you could even put this in your drawer, and this is also going to clear the air. It has a very sweet, pungent smell. And then you can put it in little things. I know that this is very popular. I got this with it. It's like a abalone holder. And, you know, this has a nice texture. Things that are then, you know, very pleasing to the eye, natural and organic stuff, you know, is well received, at least for my senses, you know. I mean, I think this is like the coolest, and it's got a nice texture. And so, you know, you can have this burning, and this can clear the air, and it's going to help resensitize your senses. You do this with purpose, and you do this with the awareness that your senses are there to serve you, not distract you. Your senses are there to guide you and heal you, not to distort you. And, you know, if you've been through a psychopathic relationship where your senses have been completely thrown out of whack, then you need to really sort of get yourself back online, getting your emotional health back online. So we've covered sight, we've covered some hearing, we've covered also this sense of scent. What about now the sense of touch? You know, begin to really be cognizant of touch and then the feelings on your skin. I've talked about dry brushing. I've talked about getting massage. I've talked about using essential oils and healing lotions, even for the guys. Vaseline is a very, it can soften your skin. So if you have like really super rough feet, put Vaseline on your feet with a pair of socks and do it, you know, for like 30 days straight, and your feet will be like baby soft again. Vaseline is a very curative and healing agent that you can use on dry spots. So if you've been neglecting kind of giving yourself the feeling of touching and comfortable clothing, you know, that has stretch and give, that breathes for you, getting rid of all the sort of clothes that have sort of the residue of this previous life or this previous sort of victimization that you were caught in, getting rid of that and clearing out your closet and getting a new wardrobe with colors that energize you, and becoming, you know, find fabrics and like the plush blankets that I show. Getting plush blankets is a wonderful thing for you to add as a throw or in your bed. You can use these or overstuffed pillows. You can do the can kind of comfort and soften you. Begin to put more pillows on your couch. They can be very, you know, calm to lean on. different fabrics that are natural and organic or have a pleasant texture. Begin to bring some texture into your life that is calming and soothing and comforting. You know, for women or men, sometimes having a bracelet or jewelry gives you a sense of energy. You know, you can channel the stones. You can pick up the natural energy that is clarifying in nature, and then you keep it close to your body. I know I've had a number of viewers ask me to do a video on different stones and the way that they you know, the how they direct your energy. One thing I always love is rose quartz. This is a very calming stone. It really does generate unconditional love. So you can hold things like this in your palm, and you can massage it, and you can pick up the very curative energy that is encased within the rock. You can go and, you know, go to a rock store and learn about rocks and learn to hold them and keep them in your environment to help bring out that energy, and surround yourself with, you know, also those things that are comforting to you in the forms of touch. And then doing this on purpose, like making a concerted effort to really up this in your life so you can begin to feel comfortable from the skin in. And then, of course, taste. Beginning to become sensitive to the foods, things that are healing in nature. The soups, the stews, the slower cooked meats, the vegetables that are organic or fresh. You know, getting fresh foods for yourself. The fresh tangerines, or the, you know, the little tiny fruits, the oranges. I forgot what they're called right now. Cuties. You know, something that is really healthful and colorful, but is cleansing to the palate. Beginning to really cleanse your palate. You know, stopping the potato chips, the white bread that doesn't have a lot of nutrition, the sugars that make your emotions go out of whack. Realize the interface of nutrition and health and how you feel, and then changing up your grocery list. You know, striking off some of the things that aren't really that good for you and looking for alternatives, becoming very well aware of this. And then also, you know, thinking also about your movement, the importance of physiology, and going out for a walk, making sure your posture is good, your head is up, your shoulders are up, you know, and beginning to do your deep breathing and just relaxing, and then going for a stroll, and then resensitizing yourself. Maybe, you know, touching some things in nature. Look at some of the, you know, go and feel the texture of a tree. Go and feed your senses with how strong these things are, and begin to absorb it through your skin. You know, go and just feel how strong an old tree is, you know, perhaps a 200-year-old oak. Just feel the base of it and how strong it is, and begin to absorb that positive energy, and begin to become sensitized to your 6th and 7th sense, your intuition, your guidance, and then your higher consciousness, and beginning to feed those, and, you know, following the guidance and listening and asking the questions. I'm open to your guidance. Please let me receive the messages for guidance in this matter. And begin to ask questions and sort of open up the doorway to your own solutions, and then doing the recovery journal so you can write these things down. You will have the answers. You will be guided in the right direction. You will begin to stop the coping and then starting the living. And because if you're constantly coping, you know, it's going to energy drain you out. You're going to get into adrenal fatigue. You're going to get sick. You're going to become unhappy. And then what good are you for yourself? It is paying attention and saying, I have limits here. I have boundaries here. And I have standards here. And it's okay. And then doing this, allowing, and then making healthy choices and decisions from that space within. Again, coming back to that open field, and then tapping into that on a daily basis, most definitely on your recovery date, and then holding these positive things in mind. Really getting used to holding visions of your future, of what you would like to have and manifest. Let's say it's a car, let's say it's a bank account, let's say it's a vacation, or a skill that you want to learn, and really sort of holding that image in mind of how you would like to become, and then just holding it in mind and then getting used to it. At first it might become difficult. You know, I'm not used to these exercises, peace and harmony. Well, it'll come with time, and then you'll shed those ruminations. You get used to it's like someone who is learning to play golf. They're teeing up, and they're getting a vision. They're stamping their foot, they're reaffirming, they're getting planted, and they're getting the kind of motion. The same should be for you. You're teeing up your mind and how you want to engage in your future, and then how you want to be independently, and then how you want to have relationships, what those are going to look like, what they're going to feel like. Those are your standards. And it's okay to say no. It doesn't mean that you have bias. It doesn't mean that you have judgment. It just means that you need to have relationships with people who have empathy and respect for you. So it's then learning to say no to the disrespect and yes to the respect within, and then you will find an energetic match with others who are also giving and receiving of respect. So it then becomes a give and take, and then your healthier relationships will emerge. Well, peace and harmony, I've never had it before. Well, that was then, this is now. So you're cultivating a new spot in place through resensitizing yourself and doing this on a concerted, conscious effort. So you're allowing a feeding of your senses in this regard and being cognizant and aware of it. So hitherto, you weren't slowing down. You weren't aware of this. You weren't attending to. Now you're attending to. Now you're seeing. Now you're improving. And then now your energy is getting better because you're rehabilitating and you're re-energizing and you're allowing yourself. You're not doing it in a forced manner, which is inauthentic, and you're feeling that you're kind of like cheating yourself or losing yourself. You're doing it in the authentic. You're doing it in balance. You're doing it in peace, and you're doing it in harmony. So these are just some ideas. These are some tools. Pick up your own, but begin to enforce these and regulate them for your own use. So once you keep these going, you'll find that you will no longer be attracted or felt a victim to the previous types of engagement or the previous types of relationship dynamics, and you won't continue to draw them into your life or be seduced by them. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Love you. Peace out.